Part 31. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 301. Chapter 301. The third female number is her. If you want to spend money to send people to his crew, you are looking for the wrong place. This is also something that Jiao Mian admires very much about Bai Yusheng. Finally seeing the rumored talented director, Jiao Mian restrained her nervousness, slowly raised her head, and met his eyes. When she saw Bai Yusheng, there was a hint of surprise in her eyes. Bai Yusheng is much younger and more handsome than she looks on TV. Even though he is now unshaven and looks unkempt, you can still see that his facial features are still very deep and handsome. Especially those long and slender red phoenix eyes, which have such a seductive flavor when they are slightly squinted. I heard that he is only 30 years old this year. He is a well-known director, good-looking, and his family background is said to be very prominent. I don't know how many female stars in the industry want to hook up with him, but he seems to have some kind of emotional misophobia, so he is still single and is listed as Cloud City, one of the 3 diamond ladies I most want to marry. Facing those seductive phoenix eyes, Jiao Mian was startled for a moment, then lowered her eyes and replied with a hint of respect, yes. Although Bai Yusheng is young, he is very prestigious in the industry. Jiao Mian didn't dare to treat him casually. Jiao Mian could feel that Bai Yusheng had been sizing her up. His eyes stayed on her for a long time. After a long while, he asked aloud, "Are you going to audition for the third female role?" "Yes." Bai Yusheng gently raised the corners of his lips. "Oh? Have you ever known this character before?" Jiao Mian was well prepared and answered in a smooth manner. She smiled and nodded, "I am a fan of the original work. I have read the original work no less than 5 times. Director Bai, to be more conceited, I think I am very suitable for the role of Shen Yunian. If I can play the third female lead, I won't let you down." As soon as she finished speaking, she felt that someone among the interviewers frowned. Seems dissatisfied with her arrogance. Jiao Mian ignored that person. She only looked at Bai Yusheng. Under the unclear gaze of the other person, she still maintained her confidence and calmness. "Even though I was actually so nervous that I was about to die." Bai Yusheng looked at her with a half smile. After a while, while Jiao Mian was waiting nervously and anxiously, he finally said, "Well, let's go back and wait for the signing notice." Jiao Mian was stunned at first, and then opened her eyes in disbelief. "This is it? She hasn't started performing yet. Isn't she dreaming?" Several other interview staff were also stunned, as if they were shocked by Bai Yusheng's behavior. Well, they also admitted that the little girl who came to audition was indeed pretty, she looked very energetic, and she had a face that was very suitable for an actress. But just being pretty is not enough. It also depends on whether she has acting skills. Compared to acting skills, beauty is secondary. If you only have a pretty face but no strength, isn't it just a vase? In Bai Yusheng's play, there can be no vases. What's more, the role of the third female lead is quite important, and she is also an important role. How could it be decided so casually? Someone shouted in disapproval, "Director Bai." Bai Yusheng waved his hand at the man, indicating that he didn't need to say any more. "Just remember, she has been chosen as the third female lead. We don't need to ask anyone else to audition for this role in a while." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 302. Chapter 302. Our baby is finally going to turn red. He has said this, how dare others say anything more? Who doesn't know Bai Yusheng's temper? If they dare to act blindly again, he will lose his temper soon. He loses his temper, but no matter who you are, you can make him lose any face. For a time, no one dared to object. Bai Yusheng was quite satisfied with their understanding. He turned his head and looked at Jiao Mian, who was still stunned. He curved his lips and revealed a charming smile. Go back and wait for the signing notice. Behave well and don't let me down. Asterisk. Chiao Mian walked out of the audition hall. Zhang Luli, who was waiting outside, immediately came forward and said, "How are you doing?" Chiao Mian looked a little dazed, but her eyes were bright, and there was irrepressible excitement in her voice. "What do you think?" Succeeded. Zhang Luli knew it was successful when he saw her expression. Chiao Mian pursed her lips, and the smile almost overflowed from her eyes. "Well, Luo, I finally succeeded. Director Bai said that I was cast as the third female lead, and asked me to go back and wait for notification to sign the contract. Wow, that's great. Baby, your fortune has finally turned around and you are going to become famous." Zhang Luli's face burst into joy and he became excited. He stretched out his hand to hug her. "I knew you would definitely be able to success. Brother Bai appreciates newcomers the most. It's impossible for him to look down on you if you have such good conditions. He was able to confirm you right at the audition, which means he is very satisfied with you. It's great, great, our baby is finally going to be popular. Wow, I'm so happy for you." Zhang Luli was really happy for her. Chiao Mian's conditions are really good in the entertainment industry, and she is really suitable for this job. However, she never became popular. To this day, it is not even an 18th line. And Xiao Angzhen, who is not as good as her in everything, can be a little flower. Isn't this so unfair? Her baby is many times better than Xiao Angzhen. If the same resources were given to her baby would have turned purple. She just couldn't stand the shameless woman Xiao Angzhen's life being better than her baby's. This will make her feel very aggrieved. How can a mistress who steals other people's fiancés by despicable means still live such a comfortable life? The mistress should be like a rat crossing the street, everyone should shout and beat her. Chiao Mian also reached out and hugged Zhang Luli. Her voice choked up and she said, "Well, I'm very happy too. Luo, thank you for your help all the time. I can only succeed in the interview this time, thanks to you. To have such a good friend like you, I must have saved the galaxy in my previous life." Chiao Mian really felt that she was so virtuous and capable. It's such a good friend to know Zhang Luli. Sisters are nothing more than that. If you meet a biological sister like Xiao Angzhen, she might as well be an ordinary friend. So, God was actually very good to her. Although she was betrayed by the scumbag and met Xiao Angzhen and Lin Huijin, a disgusting mother and daughter, God arranged for many lovely people to be around her. Xiao Chen, Zhang Luli, and Mo Yesi. These can be considered as compensation for her. With them, her life can still be wonderful. As for those who disgust her, just treat them like garbage. Baby, why are you being polite to me? What kind of revolutionary friendship do we have? Didn't we agree that when you become famous and rich, you will support me? I am also seeking benefit for myself. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 303. Chapter 303. Are the auditions over? Baby, I hope you will become famous as soon as possible. In this case, I can live a happy life of being taken care of with peace of mind. Being a rice insect with no worries about food and clothing is my biggest wish in this life. Zhang Luli didn't know at this time that one of her jokes would later become true. Except for not being a kept lover, having food, clothing, and support for the rest of your life has all been realized. Not only did she become the happy rice insect of her dreams, but she was also the highest ranking rice insect. No problem, Chiao Mian said boldly with her eyes crooked and her face full of ambition. Baby, wait until I become famous. Then I will satisfy you with the car and house you want, and I will support you for the rest of my life. Ha ha ha, I will support you for the rest of my life. This is really the most touching love story I have ever heard, Zhang Luli said, then sighed softly and said regretfully, if you hadn't already had a boyfriend, it would have been just the two of us. It's not bad to live together for the rest of your life. It doesn't matter if you have a boyfriend, we can be together secretly without letting him know. Ha ha ha, this is a good idea. Why do I feel so excited when I think that I am about to cuckold my male god? The two of them were excited in the hall for a while, and then gradually calmed down. Xiao Mian said she wanted to treat her, and she said very proudly that she wanted to invite Zhang Luli to a meal at the revolving restaurant where the average household consumption was at least 10,000 yuan. Zhang Luli is naturally very happy. By the way, baby, do you want to call the male god? The two walked hand in hand to the door of the hotel, and Zhang Luli suggested, I think things have started to change for you since you were with your boyfriend. Shouldn't you also treat him to a meal and thank him? Xiao Mian paused. She raised her head and looked at Zhang Luli, blinked and said, yes, he knows that I came to audition today. I haven't called him to tell him the good news. Say cao, cao will be here soon. As soon as Xiao Mian finished saying this, she felt her phone vibrate. She took out her phone and saw that it was Mo Yesi who had sent her a text message. Mo Yesi, is the audition over? Ha ha ha, we were just talking about the male god, and he sent you a message. Zhang Luli saw the text message and said with a smile, hurry up and make an appointment with the male god. Let's have dinner together at noon. I haven't seen the male for several days. I haven't seen his beautiful face for a day, and I feel bad. Xiao Mian, Yango. Thinking about the long vacation before, they didn't see each other for a month or two. Why didn't she, Zhang Luli, say such things? In Yango's heart, sisters are nothing. Being called a Yango, Zhang Luli didn't mind at all, and said with a smile, who in this world is not a Yango? Who doesn't care about face? It's just a different degree. Besides, the male with him looking like that, I don't believe that other women can still feel calm after seeing him. Maybe he is more fanatical than me. You see, Hanxia in our school makes them crazy like that. The male is many levels higher than Hanxia. If the male was a student of our school, they would all go crazy. For someone like me, I'm already very reserved, okay. Xiao Mian. When Zhang Luli wanted to persuade someone, he really used one set of words. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 304. Chapter 304 Rotten White Lotus with Black Core. The key is that you still think what she says makes sense. Xiao Mian saw her plausibly speaking, and for some reason, she thought of Mo Shixiu. She was thinking about what Zhang Luli would do if he saw Mo Shixiu one day. Facing such a serious and dignified man, would she still have this playful smile? After all, Zhang Luli was once fascinated by Mo Shixiu's face, and even said that if she could meet Mo Shixiu face to face once in her lifetime, she would have no regrets in her life. It can be seen how obsessed she is with Mo Shixiu. With their previous status, it would be impossible for them to meet a big shot like Mo Shixiu in this life. But now, she has become Mo Shixiu's sister-in-law, so she doesn't have to worry about not having a chance in the future. Since she has this condition, she will definitely benefit her best friend. Xiao Mian silently remembered this matter in her heart, but she had no intention of telling Zhang Luli before she had implemented the matter. Just think of it as preparing a surprise for Zhang Luli. Xiao Mian took her mobile phone and sent a text message back to Mo Yesi, well, I just finished the audition. Are you free at noon? Do you want to have lunch together? She had just sent the text message when she suddenly heard Zhang Luli say and then her tone suddenly changed, Mian, is the woman in the white skirt outside Jiao Angzan. Jiao Angzan? Hearing this name, Jiao Mian frowned unconsciously. She raised her head and looked outside the revolving glass door with a frown. At first glance, he saw Jiao Angzan, who had just walked up the stairs. She followed her agent, wearing a fairy-like white dress, her hair was slicked down, and with the light makeup on her face, the whole person looked like a white flower that emerged from the mud and was not dyed. Lotus. In fact, she is indeed a white lotus. It's just a rotten white lotus with a black core. Why did she come here? Zhang Luli also frowned. She was very disgusted with Jiao Angzan. Before Jiao Mian broke up with her stepsister, Zhang Luli hated her very much. With her fiery eyes, she could tell at a glance that Jiao Angzan was a restless and scheming bitch. At that time, she also reminded Jiao Mian several times, asking her to be on guard and to have less contact between Suzy and Jiao Angzan. But Jiao Mian believed in Suzy too much. Even if all the men in the world cheat, Suzy will not do such a thing. Result. Jiao Mian pursed her lips and said nothing. She was also curious, why did Jiao Angzan come here? Isn't she also here for the audition? Zhang Luli thought about this possibility and his eyes widened, but hasn't she already decided to star in the drama Emperor's Palace? Is she still available for other roles? Drama. Jiao Angzan and her agent walked into the revolving glass door. After entering the hotel lobby, she saw Jiao Mian standing at the door of the hotel. She was stunned for a moment, and then walked towards Jiao Mian with a smile. Elder sister. She smiled sweetly and shouted sweetly. Zhang Luli suddenly got goosebumps all over his body. Linda raised her head and glanced at Jiao Angzan, feeling a little scared in her heart. Remembered that just half an hour ago, she had called Jiao Mian with a ferocious face, looking like she hated him so much. But now I can smile again and say hello in a friendly manner. This kind of woman who does one thing in front of her and another behind her back is really scary. Thank you for the tip from the new beginning. Thank you for the temperature difference, the dazzling smile, waiting for the wind to come, 187:34, the reward for the stranded love. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 305. Chapter 305. Don't continue to disgust me, okay? Even though she is an artist herself, Linda is a little afraid of such duplicitous people. Seeing Jiao Angzan's sweet smile full of kindness and beauty, Jiao Mian felt disgusted in her heart. She didn't give her a good look and coldly replied, Jiao Angzan, you better not call me sister in the future. Everyone, don't be so hypocritical, just call us by their names when you meet. Otherwise, as soon as you call me sister, I feel as sick as if I swallowed a fly. When you scream, it makes me even sicker. Suzy is not here now, and no one appreciates your poor acting skills. You are really disgusting. There's no need to be so dedicated. Every word she spoke was laced with sarcasm. It can be said that this is quite a loss of face to Jiao Angzan. Zhang Luli on the side said that these words made her feel great comfort, and she almost wanted to give Jiao Mian 2 thumbs up. Her baby is simply amazing, okay. Without a single curse word, Jiao Angzan, a black-hearted lotus, could be scolded until her face turned livid. This is how you should treat this kind of black-heart lotus. Sister, you. Jiao Angzan was so angry that her face turned blue, and it was hard to get angry on the spot. There are still so many people standing in the hall. She is now a well-known artist. Every move is watched by countless pairs of eyes. If you are not careful, you can easily get hacked. No, Jiao Mian stretched out a finger and waved it in front of her eyes. Ignoring the anger that was about to burst out in her eyes, she raised the corners of her lips and said, Jiao Angzan, I just said that if you call me that, I will be very angry. Disgusting, please stop disgusting me, okay? Please call me by my first name after all, I don't have a sister as shameless as you. You. Xiao Angzhen became angry with embarrassment. The facial features on her face were all twisted into a ball, and she could no longer hold back her anger. She stretched out her hand and made a gesture to slap Xiao Mian. Don't worry, Linda quickly reminded in a low voice, pay attention to your image. Someone is watching you, so don't fall into the trap. Xiao Angzhen was startled, and when she looked up, she found someone looking in her direction. And one of them is also her mortal enemy. She quickly retracted her hand. But the anger in his eyes has not gone away. She glared at Xiao Mian hatefully, gritted her teeth and whispered, Xiao Mian, you have gone too far. Oh, it's not easy. Xiao Mian turned her head and said to Zhang Luli as if gossiping, she finally understands human speech. Otherwise, if she continues to disgust me, she might vomit from last night's overnight meal. Out. Zhang Luli has always hated Xiao Angzhen, so she naturally tried her best to cooperate at this time. She glanced at Xiao Angzhen first, then nodded and said, well, don't talk about you, I was disgusted too. No wonder you were so far away just now. I smelled a foxy smell, it turned out to be some shameless vixen. Xiao Angzhen is now a popular star and has become Suzy Yi's official girlfriend. I don't know how proud I am. There were a lot of people kneeling around her. When has she ever been so humiliated? It's okay for Xiao Mian to humiliate her. Even a mess like Zhang Luli dared to humiliate her? She was going crazy. In such a situation, no matter how angry she was, she had to endure it. Her face was swollen to the color of pig liver from holding in her breath, and she stared at Zhang Luli with a sinister look, as if she wanted to pull off a layer of Zhang Luli's skin. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 306. Chapter 306. I can't wait to pluck their skins off. No matter how courageous Zhang Luli was, he was still a little frightened when he saw her like this. Normally, Xiao Angzhen always looks like a white lotus flower with peaceful ears. Looking gentle and gentle, he looked like he was neither fighting nor grabbing. This was the first time Zhang Luli saw another side of her. This first time, it was scary. An Xian, let's go. Don't you still have to go to the audition? It's almost your turn, so don't waste time. Director Bai is the artist who doesn't like being late the most. Linda was afraid that Xiao Angzhen couldn't hold back her temper. Impulsively, she does things that are difficult for her to solve. The reason why Xiao Angzhen is so popular is because she has spent so much effort to find a lot of resources to make her famous. Even if she is dissatisfied with Xiao Angzhen now, she doesn't want the artist she has made so famous to lose. This won't do her any good. Xiao Angzhen took a deep breath, clenched her fists, and said in a fierce voice, Xiao Mian, let's wait and see. Xiao Mian looked like she didn't care about her at all, and smiled nonchalantly, okay, I'll wait for you. You will regret this. After gritting his teeth and saying these words, Xiao Angzhen walked past them with a sullen face. Xiao Mian stood there for a few seconds, then walked into the revolving glass door with Zhang Luli on her arm and walked out of the hotel. Asterisk. In the elevator. The moment the elevator door closed, Xiao Angzhen's face instantly darkened. There was a sinister and angry look in her eyes, and she gritted her teeth and cursed, bitch. Who the is she? She is so arrogant in front of me. And Zhang Luli, that little bitch, is simply hateful. I really can't wait to see her pull off their skin. Looking at her ferocious look as if she was mentioning the enemy who killed her father, Linda's face changed slightly, and she persuaded in a friendly voice, why do you have to be the same as them? The reason why they did that was not to arouse your anger and want to did you hit someone in public. Once you do this, you will have fallen into their trap. When the time comes, she will definitely use the matter of beating people to blackmail you. She has no fame at all now, but you are when you are famous, you and her if you make a fuss, you will definitely be the only one who suffers. Barefoot people are never afraid of shoes, you should understand this. Qiao Angzhen clenched her fists and said fiercely, of course I know, otherwise how could I endure it forever? But I just feel like I can't swallow this breath. She, Qiao Mian, is just my defeated general. In front of me, she is the only one who has low self-esteem. Why does she have the right to be so arrogant in front of me? Is it because of that mysterious man? That's why she dared to be so arrogant and domineering. What is the identity of that man? Why couldn't she find out after she checked again and again, using almost all the available connections? Could it be that his status was so distinguished and noble that it was impossible to investigate him? She spent money to find the most powerful private detective and has been investigating for several days, but she can't find even a single clue. However, if he really had a very prominent identity, how could Qiao Mian possibly know him? How did they get to know each other? A large cloud of doubt weighed in her heart, making her more and more curious about the true identity of the mysterious man. What are you so angry about? Linda patiently comforted her, picking out the words she liked and telling her, she is not as good as you in everything now. She is not even qualified to be compared with you. What if I were you? I will not waste my time and energy on such a small role, there is no need at all. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 307. Chapter 307. Then I'll audition for the third female lead. After hearing Linda's flattery, Qiao Angzhen's face looked a little better. Can't help but feel a little proud in his eyes. Yes, she is now enjoying both career and love, and many people in the industry envy her. Especially after knowing that she was about to marry into the Su family, all her sisters were extremely envious, saying that she would be the young lady of a wealthy family in the future. With the wealth and status of the Su family, even if she quit the entertainment industry, she would still have nothing to eat or drink for the rest of her life. The superior life of sorrow. The money earned in this industry is hard-earned money. The dream of many female stars in this life is to earn enough dowry, marry into a wealthy family, become a rich wife, and then live a leisurely life of raising their husbands and children. Qiao Angzhen is quite satisfied with everything he has now. Apart from thinking of that mysterious man, she felt unwilling to do so. If that man's status is more prominent than Suzy, she must not take advantage of that little Qiao Mian. She didn't really want to marry Suzy until she found out the man's true identity. It just so happens that Mrs. Su hasn't agreed to her and Suzy's affairs yet. She still has time. I don't know which role that little auditioned for. Do you think it's possible for her to audition? Qiao Angzhen frowned, still a little worried. That little bitch's face is so eye-catching. In the past, she was just a part-time player and had no chance to show her face. She had nothing to worry about. It would not be a good thing if she really gets a decent role. Linda thought for a moment and said, I've asked around, and it seems that the female lead has been decided. Today's audition is for the roles of the second and third female lead. The second female lead role is still very important. With her current reputation, I probably won't get this role. It will probably be the third female lead. Really? Qiao Angzhen raised the corners of her lips a little, but her eyes were cold. Then I will audition for the third female role. Linda was stunned, with a look of surprise on her face. You want to audition for the third female lead? But with your current reputation, playing the third female lead would be too unfair for you. Qiao Angzhen said coldly, I would rather suffer some losses myself than let Qiao Mian have any chance of showing up. But you don't have to say anything more, this matter is settled. Asterisk. On the other side, Xiao Mian finished her audition. Not long after she left, Bai Yusheng, who was sitting in the audition hall, also left. Entered the elevator. The assistant who left with Bai Yusheng asked in confusion, "Director Bai, you obviously don't need to come in person today, why?" "Still came." Bai Yusheng smiled, but his answer was inappropriate. "What do you think of that, Xiao Mian?" Ah, the assistant was stunned for a moment. Although he didn't know why Bai Yusheng suddenly asked this question, he still replied respectfully, "It's very beautiful and stunning." The third female lead in the play is originally a radiant beauty. Her appearance is still very consistent. Bai Yusheng nodded, "I think so too. The first time I saw her, I felt that Shen Yunian had walked out of the book and was standing in front of me alive. Today I was originally entrusted by someone to return a favor, but I didn't expect that this trip would bring such an unexpected surprise." At this point, Bai Yusheng raised the corners of his lips with satisfaction. The assistant was stunned again, with confusion in his eyes. "Director Bai, do you mean that you chose Xiao Mian because you were entrusted by someone to repay a favor?" "That's how it was." Bai Yusheng stretched out his hand and touched his chin, his eyes flashed with light. "Now, I think I've made a profit. Ha ha ha." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 308. Chapter 308, Really Let Yourself Go. Assistant. Why did he feel that Director Bai was smiling like a trafficker who kidnapped a decent woman? Asterisk. Mo's family. CEO's office. Wei Zhen knocked on the door and reported the news he had just received. "Mr. Mo, the young lady's audition was successful. Director Bai said that you can rest assured that he will definitely take more care of your people. He also said that he is very satisfied with Miss Bai. Thank you very much for recommending him an actress who is so in line with his heart." In front of a black desk. The man who was flipping through the documents stopped what he was doing. Mo Yesi slowly raised his head, revealing a handsome, deep, and charming face. He said he was satisfied. "Yes," Wei Zheng replied truthfully. "He said Miss Jiao is the third female lead he has been looking for." Mo Yesi was silent for a moment and said calmly, "So, it's not that he repaid me the favor, but that I helped him again." Wei Zheng, this. "Okay, let's go out." Mo Yesi rubbed his eyebrows and waved. "Yes, Mr. Mo." Wei Zheng turned around and left, closing the door gently. Mo Yesi put the documents in his hands aside, picked up the mobile phone lying next to him, thought about it, and sent a text message to Xiao Mian, "Is the audition over?" Soon, the phone vibrated. Xiao Mian replied to the message. Mo Yesi looked at it, the corners of his lips slowly raised. He pressed the intercom, and called Wei Zheng, who had just left for less than a minute, into the president's office. His slender, white, well-jointed fingers were gently swiping on the screen of his mobile phone. He raised his eyes and glanced at Wei Zheng lightly. "Report to me about my itinerary today." "Yes, Mr. Mo." Wei Zheng thought for a while and immediately replied, "Mr. Mo, you will have a dinner with President Zhang of China Guangfa Bank at noon. In the afternoon, you made an appointment with the chairman of Hongtong Company to play golf and horseback riding. In the evening, there are no arrangements." Mo Yesi thought for a while and said, "Cancel the lunch dinner." "You want to cancel the dinner with President Zhang?" Wei Zheng was stunned for a moment. He reminded, "Mr. Mo, President Zhang made a reservation for this dinner a month in advance, so it's not a good idea to just turn it down. If we have a future cooperation, we have to get a loan from China Guangfa Bank. Reschedule the dinner to tomorrow." Mo Yesi looked at the text message Xiao Mian sent, the corners of his lips curled up, and there was joy in his eyebrows. "Tell President Zhang that I have important things to do at noon today and I can't leave. Time." "Yes, Mr. Mo." Wei Zheng saw that his boss had already been decided, so it was hard to say anything else. Anyway, he felt that since Mr. Mo of his family got married, he started to become willful. In the past, Mr. Mo was a very principled person. If it was a dinner that had been arranged long ago, he would never suddenly change the time. At least, in the years that Wei Zheng has been with him, he has never seen him do anything like this. After returning to China, Mr. Mo really let himself go. No, it should be Mr. Mo after marriage. Wei Zheng basically guessed that Mr. Mo suddenly broke the appointment this time, and it was probably because of the young lady. He will become like this only when it comes to things related to the young lady. Have you done that thing I asked you to do before? Mo Yesi suddenly remembered something. He had previously ordered Wei Zheng to purchase the villa over the Chiao family. Calculating the time, this matter was also completed. It's done. Thank you for the rewards 1320220, 13701, 1827428, 18101. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 309. Chapter 309, Give in to Others. Is Mr. Mo talking about buying the Chiao family villa? Wei Zheng thought for a moment and said respectfully, it's almost done. I arranged to talk to the Chiao family. The price offered is also very impressive, but the Chiao family is not willing to sell the villa. They said it was the Chiao family's old house and it affected the Chiao family's feng shui. No matter how much money they paid, they wouldn't sell it. Mr. Mo has told me that if the normal procedures don't work, then other means will be used. So I used a trick to get Jiao Ruhei into trouble. When the time comes, in order to solve the trouble, he will have to sell it or not. Well, you did a good job. Remember, no matter what method you use, you must get that villa over. Mo Yesi squinted his eyes, thinking about how the Chiao family treated Chiao Mian, and his eyes filled with worry. A bit chilly. He is not interested in Chiao's villa. The reason why I had to get it was just for Chiao Mian. There are things she cares about in that house. As long as it is what she cares about and what she wants, he will dedicate it to her with both hands. He now understands the ridiculous things that ancient kings did for Pomeranian smiles. When you have someone you hold dear to your heart, you will want to give the whole world to her. I wish I could give her my heart. Okay, you go out. Mo Yesi waved his hand, indicating that Wei Zheng could leave. Yes, Mr. Mo. Wei Zheng turned around, and just as he walked to the door, he heard his boss telling him to stop again. He retracted his hand that pushed the door open and said, "Does Mr. Mo have any other instructions?" Mo Yesi lowered his eyes and looked at the screen of his mobile phone. He tapped his finger on the screen. After a moment of silence, he said, "Send a gift to the other party to celebrate. Generally, whatever is better to give." Huh, Wei Zheng was stunned for a moment. It took a few seconds to react. He made a bold guess, and then asked cautiously, "Does Mr. Mo want to give a gift to the young lady?" The only person who can make Mr. Mo bother with this is the young lady. In the past, when the young master gave gifts to others, he would directly leave them to the female secretary outside. When did he personally intervene in such a matter? Mo Yesi said softly, Does Mr. Mo want to congratulate the young lady on her successful audition? Generally, gifts to women are nothing more than flowers, jewelry, and the like. Of course, the most important thing is to see what the young lady likes. This way you can cater to her preferences. Mo Yesi frowned. What does she like? Yes, master, why don't you ask tentatively? Asterisk. Chiao Mian and Zhang Luli walked out of the hotel and called a special car to go to the revolving restaurant. Mo Yesi took her to eat at that revolving restaurant once before. As soon as she got in the car, she received a text message from Mo Yesi. Mo Yesi, yes, I'm free. Give me your address and I'll come find you. Chiao Mian looked at this reply, raised the corners of her lips, tapped her finger on the screen, and quickly replied to the message, it's the revolving restaurant we went to before. I have some good news to share with you, I passed the audition. I'm with Luo now, and I'll treat you to a big dinner at noon today. Mo Yesi, Zhang Luli is here too. Chiao Mian seemed to smell a hint of dissatisfaction from his text message. She guessed what the reason might be, and replied a little funny, what's your tone? Luo is not an outsider. Moreover, Luo helped me find this audition opportunity for me. The person I should thank the most is her. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 310. Chapter 310 Husband, hold on. Mo Yesi, I thought it was a date between the two of us alone. Chiao Mian knew that he was minding this, so she couldn't help but smile and replied, we meet every day, and we will have plenty of time to date alone in the future, please stop being so stingy. This time, Mo Yesi did not reply immediately. It took almost a minute before he replied to her with one word, okay. Chiao Mian looked at the word good he replied, and the image of him typing the word obediently appeared in her mind, and she thought it was very cute. She found a cute emoticon from the reply column and sent it to him. Asterisk. Mo Yesi was already in the car when he received Chiao Mian's emoticon package. The moment he received the emoji, he had only one thought. She actually sent him a picture of a cat hugging a person's arm. It didn't matter. The key was the text accompanying the picture, husband, hold on. Mo Yesi stared at the word husband over and over again, imagining how soft and charming Chiao Mian's voice would be when she called him that. Fairy, he gritted his teeth and took a deep breath. Just be patient. When her damned aunt passes by, he will get her money back with interest. He will make her cry and beg him for mercy again. The car will drive out for a while. While passing a flower shop, Mo Yesi asked Wei Zheng to stop the car. Wei Zheng parked the car and looked outside. When he saw a flower shop opposite, he guessed what Mo Yesi wanted to do. Mr. Mo, tell me what flowers you want to buy, and I'll go down and buy them. Wei Zheng felt that how could their boss, Mo, buy flowers in person? Especially when he is around as an assistant. Mo Yesi opened the car door directly and said quietly, wait in the car, I'll go take a look. After saying that, he got out of the car. Wherever the man's slender and tall figure stands, he gives people a sense of standing out from the crowd. Just when Mo Yesi got out of the car, the two girls passing him covered their mouths and screamed softly, wow, look, that man is so handsome. Did he get off that Rolls Royce? Wow, he's handsome, rich, and awesome. Visually 186 plus, those legs are too long. They are incredibly long. He can't be a model. The two girls were chattering and extremely excited. When they walked past him, their faces were red. Several girls passing by were also peeking at him, and they were all very excited to see such a handsome guy. Some people jumped up to him and wanted to ask him for his contact information. The person who asked for contact information was a girl who was no more than 20 years old. She was still very young, with a face as tender as a shelled egg. She wrung her fingers and blushed, and asked nervously, hi, handsome guy, hello. Can we be friends? My name is Chen. Before the girl could finish her courageous self-introduction, she heard a low and cold voice above her head, full of alienation, please step aside and don't block the way. I'm going to the flower shop to buy something for my wife. Flower. End of this chapter.